welcome back to our actual play of a Ryuutama game, Beastly Botanicals. A name that used to be shrouded in mystery but has become quite apparent to our party as many animals have started to sprout all kinds of botanical elements. Some useful, some problematic, as our cast have discovered. We'll quickly go around and say hello to our players, have a quick in-character recap, and then we'll dive into our actual game. I'm going to go by order of my Zoom call, because that's what I have in front of me, which means we'll be starting with Wraith.
Remember to unmute my mic. Hi, I'm Wraith, also known as Slender Noya. I am playing Juniper Bennett. I have a little fox that glows in the dark now, and I'm co-parenting one of these goats that I seem to be, I'm personally excited to have, and it sounds like I shouldn't be. So we're going to see how that's going.
All true. You are co-parenting a baby goat with none other than Kai's character, Kai.
Hi, that's me. I'm Kai, Kylo Creative. I am playing Jace, the super fearsome hunter. Goat parent.
I was about to say, goat parent, goat guardian, goat... There's goats. They went to a goat farm. They left with many goats. Fortunately, they have people with them who know things about animals. Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex. You can find me on a lot of places at Fortivera, and today I am playing Corey, who is our resident farm boy. He has a giant chicken that is a pack animal, and it has grown poison ivy of some kind, and it is not fun. Very itchy. Super itchy. Look at all that ivy. It's so itchy.
So much ivy. I'm just gonna cut in here because, hi, I'm Anniek. I'm the Ryujin, which is kind of a DM, but not really, and I play everybody else. I have a little DM NPC which can jump in if our party gets into deep trouble, but so far they've done very well and have managed to avoid most dangers. And I'll be guiding them through this adventure. And then last but not least, mainly last because they'll be jumping into the recap right after this, Amanda.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda, aka Panda Cabra on most platforms. I am playing Saki Kujira, resident mom friend and fixer-upper. Basically an artisan who specializes in blacksmithing, but has recently also undertaken just the general care of the chaos babies of this party. So, recapping last episode, we were at Fern's fabulous goat farm, where Fern has convinced Saki and Jace, aka me, to take a crochet class in order to fix Jace's ruined pants because the goats ate it in the previous session. Corey leaves to talk to who he calls Mr. Dave, who learns to learn more about the magic and the dragons and to figure out what is going on with the beastly botanicals of the game. So Dave was nearby the Manatee River, quote unquote, where they learn that Corey and Juniper actually learn together. The summer dragon hasn't arrived. They're about 3 weeks late. The seasonal dragons make the seasons turn. A region has to collect stories from dragons and tell the stories to the dragon's egg to make the seasonal dragon hatched, but it hasn't happened. The spring dragon at the farm, that little ivy dragon we found, seems to not want to move on for some reason. However, seasonal dragons can't control everything, so we think it's not responsible for Mr. Kekko's plant growth. Or is it Baron Kekko now? Kekko got an upgrade while we were at the farm as well. So, We've learned about the prices of the different inn rooms and found out we get a discount if we adopt baby goats, which is how the party have ended up with Ginger and Sage, the baby goats. So we leave the goats at the stable. We go to the Manatee River because it's Manatee River. Of course we're going to see that. We find out that there is apparently a sister farm where the manatees come from. They swim over to Fern's farm, and then they just kind of, when they're done, they just kind of swim back. So, sounds cool. Cool arrangement. We get onto the manatees. We think that the manatees are a little bit magical. So some of us are riding on it. They also had rafts for those of us who were not quite as brave. I'm not going to call anyone out, but there were a couple of us who weren't brave enough to ride the manatees, which admittedly they are kind of fearsome looking creatures, but very gentle. We were informed that there would be a water feature in the middle of the lake that we were swimming out to, which we find out is a child dangling from a tree and a giant crocodile waiting hungrily below. And as we are on our way to try to rescue the child, we find out it's actually animatronic. And this was Fern's way of telling us that of a journey that Fern had previously been on and gave the whole entire party a heart attack, which resulted in us accidentally yelling at the poor attendant at the manatee loading area about how scary it was. And we had to unfortunately calm down the crying attendant because it really wasn't their fault to begin with. It's just, unfortunately, the customer service is just like that sometimes. I go on to try to talk to the dragon. I want to find out about this mysterious pickaxe that ended up in my possession, where in the first episode, I was given the task of fixing the pickaxe without actually fixing it. They just want it restored, but I'm having trouble tracking down the origin. I know it comes from a previous adventure's walking stick, but I need to source down where it came from. So I show the pickaxe to the dragon, and it seemed very pleased, and it turned into these beautiful purple leaves with red tips, and I still don't know what that means, but I'm sure it will be helpful in the future. So as we're coming back from the manatee ride, we find Ferdin talking to a Koneko goblin, which is basically this little cat creature that's also like a goblin. Very cute, but very, like, mischievous. Usually a bad thing if they show up because they like to cause chaos. But we find out that this Koneko goblin is actually an artist who makes all of the signs for Fern that we see around the farm advertising the various features and things. So we're pretty grody coming back from the Manatee River because we were in the water with them. So we decided that we're going to pay to take a bath, because they do have a bathhouse service there. Where the only note that I wrote down was that I noticed that Jace and Corey share a bath together, and they have a heart-to-heart, and I left it at that. And so after we all get nice and cleaned up, we went to the gift shop, bought some stuff. I bought a tent for everyone because we needed it. Went to bed, woke up, had breakfast, and we are on our way to Crosswood, I believe. It was where we think that Clover, the goat that I believe was the first to start sprouting these growths, the animals usually ends up going to, and it's northeast of Lifferwin. And so last time we saw the party, we were on the road to Crosswood.
As you are leaving Fern's fabulous farm, you're getting all sorted, like getting your marching order, determining who has to deal with the poisonous chicken. Are you carrying the goats? Are you leading the goats? You know, that's you have to reestablish some travel arrangements that already were on shaky ground because you just haven't traveled together that much yet. And somewhere halfway between Juniper explaining to Jace that no, you cannot have your goat in like a baby Bjorn because they will kick you at some point. Jonathan, the poor teenager you made cry at the manatee ride, comes huffing and puffing up the road, holding like a sheaf of paper for you, like, oh, I caught you in time. Okay. This is for you. I'm sorry, the mail was so late today. Please don't scream at me again. I ran as fast as I could and I'm very tired. And he just hands over this letter while not making eye contact with Jace at all.
And now I kind of want, that makes me just want to yell he needs to work on his cardio at him, but...
Sure, make him cry again. What's the worst that can happen?
But now I don't want to make him cry again.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. We got mail? We were only there for a day.
Is it for all of us? We only know one person collectively.
Correct.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
It has all 4 of your names on the envelope. Some of them spelled phonetically rather than correctly. Who takes the letter?
I'll take the
guess
letter.
yeah.
I'm sorry, whose hands did it end up in?
Juniper.
Juniper. Okay. Let me find you on Discord.
Secret.
You have a message.
Secret letter.
It's up to Juniper if she reads it to the group or not. I have no horse in this race.
Aww. It's from Rosalie.
What's it say?
It says, friends, I hate to leave both so soon after meeting you all and without saying a proper goodbye, but I heard that the herb I've been searching for is sprouting in a meadow several days' travel from here. I have to go and see for myself if the rumor is true. Take care of yourselves and each other, and if you're ever in Aisling's Rest, come find me in Aster and Alice. You're always welcome. All the best, Rosalie.
Oh.
That's...
Oh.
Well, you know,
Miss Rosalie.
the winds of adventure take you where you gotta go, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad she found what she was looking for, or hopefully she will.
I wish her well in her journey. I hope she finds it.
I'm sure we'll meet up with her sometime.
I hope so. She was nice.
Also, she had all the band-aids.
Correct.
She also knew what all of the plants around here were. We should, pick up a book on plants, maybe.
Yeah.
Is the path to Crosswood gonna take us past Lifferman?
So, it depends. If you go the long way around, it could. In general, though, the path to Crosswood is not necessarily a path as much as a journey.
Oh yeah, because Fern's farm is off the beaten path.
Afford that true adventuring experience.
Well, maybe Crosswood
In general,
has a
though, you're
bookstore.
going to go past Lifferman.
Okay, well, next time we find a bookstore, remind me to buy a book about herbs.
Right.
And I take a note of that in my journaling.
Book about herbs.
Alrighty. You all had your condition checks already, if I remember correctly, for last time.
Yes.
So now that you are officially setting out from the farm, obviously we're going to get into journey checks.
No.
You have a general-ish direction you'll be heading in, so this seems to be calling for both a travel check and a direction check. Everybody ready? Travel checks, everybody separately. Strength and dex. Your target number, let me just scroll up real quick. Your target number is a 9.
Okay. Strength and dex, you said?
Strength and dex.
I just barely got it.
I rolled a natural 1 on one of those, so I got a 5.
You know, it's great. I rolled a natural 1 on both my dice. I have 2.
Rip.
I have 8.
Okay, so Juniper fails.
We have
Corey passes. As your benevolent DM, might I suggest that Saki takes one of the group rerolls, because otherwise Saki's going to end up at a quarter of her current hit points, rounded down.
Yeah. Probably good idea to use that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Because a fumble is a fumble. That's just terrible.
We don't have a healer anymore.
You don't. You don't have a healer at all.
This time it's an 11, so thank you for that.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you, everyone who donated for rerolls.
Please donate more.
Jace didn't fumble, but did fail quite badly.
Classic.
Yeah. So in the end, you're going to end up walking all day through the woods. It's going to end up raining quite badly. So, Kai, tell me what happens to Jace that causes you to lose half your hit points. What goes wrong? What is the disaster that befalls you?
Well, with it raining, I still feel like Jace is attempting to be like in charge and sound confident, and just like takes a whole tumble down like a muddy embankment while they're like, oh, look over there. That's the direction we should obviously be. Oh. Just slides down and needs to be like helped out of this like ravine.
Remind me what your condition was for today, your condition score.
I have a 12 circled.
Oh, 12 is good. That means you avoid the twisted ankle. Good job on your condition. Well done. So, Jace being confident about the direction, the real question, of course, is that the correct direction? I need a direction check. We need our mapper. And considering the group, probably someone supporting the mapper.
Yeah, I think the mapper was Rosalie, so now it's got to be one of us.
You need
So
to
my int is super, super high, so
Okay,
maybe I can
then go for it.
Or
Yeah.
Good, because mine's not.
Sounds fair.
Force.
I think Juniper might end up de facto becoming our direction check person, because like I almost feel like the party is looking at whatever map or semblance of a map we have and going, is it this town or this town?
It's like upside
I'm
down.
not.
Upside down, and we're sitting here.
Buck is not the most book smart person there is. I will say that.
int is my highest, so
Yeah.
So let's see.
So you remind them that if you turn the map the right way up, as helpful in general.
So I got a 14.
A 14, beautiful. You find your way. Is that a critical success or a regular success?
That's just regular. I have d8s.
Okay, regular success. So you find your way fairly normally across this wet, rainy forest during the day. Is there anything you are looking for? Anything you want to discuss? Anything like if you want to split off from the party briefly? What are you up to today? Just in general.
I think I'm hanging near Corey and trying to convince him that we could potentially trim off all of the leaves from Keko and see if we can sell them for extra gold.
Corey is certainly what's the word for that when you're agreeable towards an idea. Can't think of it. But yeah, totally for it. Just, yeah. I don't know who would want itchy leaves, but at the very least we could maybe cut some of these off and stop having them be so itchy.
Because I mean, like either way, like either we cut them off and we just, leave them somewhere, or we can see if maybe like some herb shops want them. Like sometimes you can take like poisonous stuff and make it not poisonous or use it in other things. Like maybe it's a really effective cleaner that you're not supposed to touch with your hands. I don't know. I don't know plants really, but we could probably sell it.
Probably a good idea. Corey doesn't know much about plants either, except for what chickens eat, what chickens don't eat, and generally what people eat.
Plus, like, Rosalie couldn't identify it, and she was really good with plants, so we could probably sell it as like a really rare, special plant and get a good price on it. And
it probably is pretty rare.
Jace.
Me?
Can you roll me in spirit for a second?
In spirit. That's okay. Let's just get rid of that die and take a smaller one.
Yeah, get your small die out.
Oh no. Ooh, a 6 and a 2 for 8.
An 8. So Juniper and Corey are all, where are we going to sell these leaves? How are we going to trim this chicken? And they're like halfway out in front of Keko at this point. Ginger, the goat you adopted, is trotting along Keko, hops onto Keko, and just starts grazing on Keko.
You guys think that's all right? You think he's gonna? I mean, goats are
a lot of drool. Just drooling.
Well, I mean, goats are little like trash can animals, but then I just like grab the goat and like take him off of the chicken. But I don't know about
roll Dex, please.
Oh no!
Let's see how much IV you touch while picking up your
Oh
goat.
no! I just wanted to grab him around his little tummy.
That's the whole point.
Oh gosh!
I mean, the goat's covered in poison ivy.
So that will be another natural 1 and a 3 for 4.
Beautiful.
I'm going to
your
die on this walk.
condition notwithstanding, you once again touch many poisonous plants as you're grabbing this goat with no regard for your own safety, apparently. Please take the poison status effect and be aware of the fact that your hands are once again completely on fire.
I have learned nothing.
Oh man, no!
We should
not again.
We should probably wash them off.
Yeah.
Also, Ginger's really angry. Ginger was having like brunch and suddenly isn't.
But is Ginger like okay?
Ginger is fine. Like, man, goats are great at eating poisonous shit.
Okay, so the drooling was just a normal amount of goat drool. I don't know, do goats drool?
The drool was a normal amount of, oh my god, this shit is delicious, and there's so much more level of drool. Of course, having never owned a goat before, you wouldn't have recognized that amount of drool.
I just kind of look at the goat.
The goat stares back at you with their slit pupils, baa's at you angrily, and tries to eat your shirt.
No, okay, just... I do that thing that you do with, like, dogs where you're carrying them and the couch is, like, 2 feet away and you just kind of plop them onto the couch.
Yeah, the not quite throwing them thing. Yeah.
Just try not to touch the chicken again and being like, well, have at it, I guess. So I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have put my socks back on. At least it's raining, and I just kind of like hold my hands out and just let it like rain on them.
Yeah.
Should have bought some of that terrible rose stuff.
Oh no.
I'm glad you didn't. It'd be so much more awful in the rain.
So, Kai, for Jace, the poison status effect means that your strength die goes down 1.
No, that's my good one. Oh, come on. Okay.
So if it is a D8, it is now a D6.
Yep.
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 Yep. You can't really, move hard things with your hands on fire again.
Yeah, but this is gonna be a deadly walk. This is a deadly walking encounter.
I'm making a note in my journal. Buy Jace gloves.
We have gloves. We bought gloves.
Yeah, it
No
feels
one's
Make-
wearing gloves.
Make
I bought
Jace
gloves
wear
specifically for ivy purposes. I mean, it was more for trimming the ivy
it,
than
but
than grabbing the goats. But,
Ginger was doing a great job of trimming that ivy.
into her stomach, though.
Yes.
it's just fine.
Yes.
They do. You can rent goats to do that, for your hillsides and stuff.
I mean, yeah, but now we have a goat that is covered in poison juice.
Well, we'll put her on a leash. She'll be fine, right? She can. The goat seems fine with it. Just hang out with the other goat. We just won't touch the goats.
Corey kind of preemptively has just surreptitiously put those gloves on so as to just kind of casually protect his hand. Because he does not want to repeat of, yes, Ivy time.
Ivy time.
Oh, the shame.
All right.
Okay. Well, maybe we're not breaking for lunch. It's fine. We're fine.
I mean, you can still break for lunch. Someone just has to spoon feed Jace.
Oh, we can take a break. I can feed myself. I just gotta get my socks back off.
That would be gross.
Maybe we should put some rope leashes on the goats.
Mhm.
So we can wash them off and keep them off of the ivy so they are no longer poisonous to touch.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're kind of solving the problem for y'all, right?
I mean, a little bit, but then they are also covered in poison juice. And we still don't know if we can sell this to get some gold for
consider
more useful stuff.
Consider
There's
Echo
that.
will grow more.
Mhm.
So if we need to trim some to sell, we'll have some later. And if the goats eat it, they don't have to be fed.
Mhm.
And I don't have to touch the ivy.
Maybe we still put them on ropes so they don't jump up, so they don't get totally covered in the juice.
I disagree in putting ropes on goats because goats get places, but
Yeah, learned that at the farm.
Mm-hmm.
anyone else got rope?
I have
The
rope.
only rope I got's on Keko.
Yeah, I fumble, now that I have my socks on my hands, fumble with my rope and take it out of my backpack.
I did have some leftover crochet rope.
Oh yeah.
Your crochet garrote.
Yeah.
It can be a goat leash.
Yeah. If they don't eat the yarn, that is.
I mean, it's going to be a few leashes that we go through, I would guess.
We're fine.
Okay, so
It's fine.
we're putting leashes on the goats.
Yee.
The chicken roams free, and the fox is in a backpack. Just so I know where all the animals are.
Yep.
I mean, Keko is leashed in the sense that he's got, some kind of rope around his neck to help lead him places, but in all actuality, in reality,
Look,
if this
the
chicken
rope is a
decides to go-
suggestion, and you both know it.
He's
Yeah.
leashed by his sense of
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yes.
It's like on TikTok where people are demonstrating their Bluetooth ropes, which is just tricking your horse into thinking they're wearing a halter.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
It works surprisingly well, provided you halter trained your horse in the first place.
I mean, yes,
All right.
but that still sounds awful.
Who's holding which goat's leash? And who's Are we scouting ahead, or are we very focused on our own little party and all its tiny dramas? And by tiny dramas, I of course mean all your grand problems, but like in the grand scheme of things.
I feel like I would have been trying to scout ahead when I fell in a ravine, so that fell off at some point.
Yes, you fell into a ditch and had to be rescued.
And Corey has been chit-chatting, like, in the general sense, he's been looking around, but not in a, like, oh, let's blaze ahead and make sure there's nothing that's going to jump us. It's just a general, am I about to step into a pothole? No, we're good.
Fair. I'm looking
I
at
feel
the two
like
responsible people
Saki.
here.
I feel like Saki was sort of in the back, but like slowly over time has worked her way up into the front. Not scouting yet, but is definitely like kind of taken lead a little bit.
Yeah, by necessity almost.
Mm-hmm.
Juniper?
I mean, I think she's been too distracted first with the discussion of like, can we sell this ivy? Like, what can we do with it? And then between trying to wrangle the goats and make sure that Jace is okay, I think she's got her hands full and she's not even thinking about scouting ahead.
I mean, that's fair. In that case, I will ask Corey and Saki to roll in spirit.
I'm proud of the boy. One of those is a D4.
Oh, that's well done.
That was a 3, so I'm still pretty oblivious to whatever is about to happen.
Saki, what are you distracted by?
I saw like a really neat bird in a tree.
Valid. Very valid. Tell me about the colors on this bird.
The colors on this bird, it has like a really bright yellow body in contrast with like the very dark feathers on its wings. And it just like this pop of yellow in this kind of dark dreary forest, and it just catches my eye and I'm just watching it flip back and forth, and it's just really nice to look at. And it's very small and very cute.
Interesting color choice. Corey, a little bit ahead, you notice so it's sort of like a sign, but it's not like one of the usual rectangular signs with like words on them. The sign itself is already strangely shaped, made out of sort of stacked hexagons. And it has a large symbol on it that I don't know if you know, because it's a sign normally used by travelers who travel in like woods or wastelands or deep forests.
Possibly wastelands, because Geyser is that weird kind of like... It's not a wasteland proper, but you probably have to pass through some to get there.
Okay.
But at the same time, this is his first journey, so I don't know.
I mean, roll int with a high target number and see if you actually recognize that symbol.
No, that's a 3.
That's a 3. I mean, it's a pretty cool looking sign. It's like partly gilded, made out of heavy carved wood. And in addition to that symbol you didn't recognize, it has a few town symbols underneath it. And you don't know the towns themselves, but you recognize like the formatting as town symbols.
That's neat. Just pointing at this gilded sign. Don't know what that big symbol is, but which one's the Lifferwin? Just kind of try to find that he probably recognized.
The Lifferwin symbol is the one on the far right.
Okay. And it's like an array of like these hexes have like different symbols in different corners, or like how is this? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a smear of hexagons, and then most of the town symbols are near the bottom, and then there's one town symbol on the top right. And like all the outsides of the hexagons are gilded.
Okay.
So
There's that. Hey, wait. Are we going the right way?
yeah, can someone decipher this?
If that's where Lifferwin is, and we're supposed to be going northwest to Lifferwin? Wait.
I like just look up at the sun.
Technically, we're on our way to Crosswood, which is northeast of Lifferwin.
Oh, right. So that way-ish?
Take a moment, and I think that's right.
I'll let the other people looking at this sign roll an int check to see if you remember anything about this.
LOL.
Anyone with like a people with a like a trapping hunting background can take a little bonus.
But
So you have if you have like hunting or trapping, let's say you have a +1.
+1. Okay. Should I be rolling hunting or trapping or rolling the int?
Roll the int because you're not actively tracking anything.
Okay. 6.
I got 15.
15. Wow.
If you're rolling int, I rolled a 4.
Okay.
But I do also have trapping.
Yeah.
As a skill.
Them D4s are
so
tough.
for as far as Saki and Jace are concerned, you've never actively trapped this animal, so you don't know about the agreements that their hunting community has. Juniper, I imagine, with their merchant background, would have heard about this because the speckled bee produces a honey that is so highly prized that there are hunters that specialize in only the speckled bee, and that is enough for them to like finance their entire lives. Speckled bees can be as big as a human.
Mm-mm.
They live in hives that are dug into the ground, so their hives don't hang from trees. There are ground-based bees. And hunters that hunt speckled bees, it is incredibly dangerous, but a single harvest of speckled bee honey is enough for an entire family to live off for like a full year. And this sign says there are speckled bees nearby, and the town signatures are the towns that have given written notice to certain hunters that they can hunt those bees, right? They're like permits. So if you go to get honey from these bees and you don't have a permit, you're poaching. Lifferwen is one of the towns that allows a certain hunter from a certain family to hunt these bees every once in a while.
Gotcha.
And Saki and Jace would have never have been considered for one of these licenses before, which is why I assume you don't know about this. But Juniper, as a merchant, has like stood in front of a store selling this honey going, if only I could get a permit. If only I could get someone to cut me in. If only someone would sell me this and I could market it. But yeah, somewhere nearby there's human-sized bees.
We definitely should keep the goats on a leash.
If Corey could reach the signs, he's just kind of tracing the gilded hexagon shape, because that's just so neat. Because he has no idea. We do not have human-sized bees in Geyser.
Wait, like human-sized for a bee?
Like, maybe we should be careful to not accidentally trip into one of these hives.
So do we go around? Does it tell us which way it is?
In general, the Juniper at a 15, right? That's a ridiculous roll. You would know that
7 and an 8.
You would put this sign at like the southern edge of a colony.
Gotcha. Okay.
Are they like territorial bees or like just giant bumblebees? I'm saying as I'm taking my like gigantic spear off my back.
I mean, they're pretty dangerous. So there's a reason why the honey's really, really expensive. So,
Okay,
I don't think we could take on a whole hive.
But we go around then?
That would probably be for the best.
So I can tell you that the average bee has more hit points than you do.
Yeah.
I take out my axe and start kind of wanting to use it as like a walking stick, but it's just very like just in case.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just in case.
Clutching, doing the same, like clutching my weapon though, like an absolute baby, and like keeping my eyes on that part of the wood.
For my edification, are you taking the east way around or the west way around? Considering that this is the south border. Are we going left or right?
East way, I think, because we're trying to head east, right? Just this is out of character because
You are heading northeast-ish. Yeah, northeast-ish.
Is there?
There's a lake that's a problem. Travel direction-wise. In general, it's a very nice lake. For you, it's in the way.
Is there like a clearer, nicer road one way that would just be like faster to travel?
Oh, darling, there's no roads here.
I'm a nice walking. Okay, I tried.
No. This is Ryuutama. You're in the wilderness. Actually, you're in the forest.
And if
You're in a nice forest.
If we go west?
No. It's woods one way or woods the other way for as far as you're currently aware. Your choices may have ramifications down the road.
I mean, as far as like, is there like a lake in the way one way and then not the other? Or is it?
No, the lake's a problem everywhere. In general. Like, you're still on the way to the lake.
Okay.
Well, then go the way we're headed.
Yeah.
The east?
Still east.
East. Beautiful. Goats on leashes, chicken.
All right, Mr. Keko.
On a leash.
Gonna go round that way because we cannot fight giant bees.
Giant bees.
I've heard Saki being a little more on edge, and I've heard Jace being a little more on edge. Are Juniper and Corey chilling, still having a lookout?
Corey's looking out in a general sense a little more keenly than before, but not like scared, because like human-sized bees, it's like, okay, it's a big bee. In Corey's mind, a bee is just a creature that minds its business. As long as you mind yours.
Look, it's not a wasp, right? It's still a bee.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or like, even if it were a wasp, most of them are going to mind the business. If it's a yellow jacket, don't
like them.
Juniper is definitely keeping a very sharp eye out, both because she does not want to herself or any of her party end up kicking up a hive, because she knows that we cannot take one of these. But also she is a little like, I've never been this close to a hive before. Like, I know I can't do anything with it, but if I could.
Oh, if only you could. So for everyone walking here, the ground is not humming because you don't hear it, but vibrating a little bit, like that low-pitched feeling of, let's say, a hive of human-sized bees underfoot.
Oh my god, they're under
Mr. Keko is like picking up his feet a little more than normal. Your goats are a little agitated, but on a 15, having read this sign correctly, Juniper manages to guide you away from this underground hive towards a camping spot. Is there anything you want to do or discuss during your full day of travel? Because you're walking a solid, I'm going to be European about this, 30 kilometers for a full 8 hours on foot. I mean, for those of you not used to this, your feet hurt, you're tired, you're hungry. Are we there yet? Levels of walking in a day. Thank you, Eva. 18 miles. I don't speak freedom units. You have to deal with me. Assuming you stop for lunch and it's uneventful, but like if anyone needs like a short stop away from the party, if there's anything you want to discuss as a group, or if you're just fucking spooked, which is valid because again, human-sized fucking bees nearby, and you just want to hold on to your weapons and march, entirely for valid, right? Just whatever you want to do.
I feel like as long as there was like vibrating beneath our feet, I wouldn't be saying anything. I would be like, they're going to hear us, they're going to come find us, they're going to kill us.
Corey, unfortunately, every now and then, chit-chatting, just whatever inane thought goes through his head, just kind of a, oh, well, that's a nice leaf. Oh, and then at some point around lunchtime, he goes, oh, hey, wait, because it's been raining this whole time, right?
It has been raining this whole time, which is why your travel journey check was so high.
Oh. And he just kind of does a thing, just kind of, oh, hey, wait! And then, like, I have a spell called, Koro Okuru Cute Leaf. It makes leaf umbrellas.
You remember this at lunch. Perfect.
Yes!
So we're already soaked through.
Everyone, like, your boots are soggy, your underclothes are damp. All the goats have developed this weird curl pattern in their hair. Peko sounds vaguely earth-like.
I feel like as soon as he produces one of these leaf umbrellas, like, oh, hey, wait! Peko just pecks it because, like, no.
It's too late now.
Just eats my leaf. Oh.
So Saki, Juniper, and Jace, somewhere during lunch, you see Corey go, what does it look like when you cast a spell, Corey?
It depends on the spell. A lot of them are music-based. Some of them are just, he just seems to have a knack for it. And it would normally be a case of, hello, puppy. Sorry. Normally be a case of, there'd be like a fine dusting of like ash or something that just kind of puffs around, settles on his shoulders or something, or settles on the shoulders of whomever it is he's casting it on. But it's just, I now have a leaf-shaped umbrella. It's kind of gray, like that gray-green that things out in like the desert or up in the mountains get. Or like the things that grow along near geothermal vents. But like it's just a leaf, it's repelling water, and then the chicken looks at it and starts eating it because no.
I mean, there's also 2 baby goats going for it. They were denied delicious chicken ivy.
As soon as we get to bedtime, we know for a fact those goats are going to town on that ivy.
Yeah, little nighttime maintenance. Just
yeah. Dinner and a place to bed down.
Sure. It's a all-in-one chicken buffet.
Exactly.
So for the 3 of you, Corey suddenly has an umbrella, something that would have been incredibly useful the entire morning, for like a solid 2 minutes before it is devoured by your party animals. Minus a very polite fox, who is being a very good boy and staying in Juniper's pack.
He's the only one who's dry.
Yes. Apparently Corey could have been helpful, but wasn't. We're not sure what's going on there.
He's just stupid, Your Honor. He forgot he had it.
I plead thee whatever amendment confesses that I'm an idiot.
Well, if it's still raining tomorrow, after we've been in the tent a bit, we should dry off some. I can make more of those.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Ooh. I mean, good to remember at some point. Now we all know, so
it can remind you.
Yeah, finger guts.
He's just very pink because, like, That would have been great this morning. Would have been so great. We set out in high spirits and, had a travel song and we picked the right direction and then it started raining and it's just like,
After lunch, if there's no other things anyone in this party wants to do, you walk another solid 9 miles and start looking for a place to camp. Who would like to make the camping check? And one person can help if you want to. I believe you finally bought enough tents and sleeping gear so you don't have a penalty this time.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Corey will help set up camp. Just as soon as we've identified a place, it's just going to be like buckling around, trying to get tents set up, trying to get, all that groovy stuff done. But like, as far as picking a good spot to camp, he's not very useful. His chicken wants to just find a tree and like sit in it.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
And I have my hunter thing where I can go hunting for rations while people are setting up camp, it sounds like. Is it before something? But I don't know.
Somewhere during the day before they actually bed down.
Okay.
Like before you mark off the rations for the night, you can either say like just after lunch, like I'll see you at camp. Or you can be like, you know what? I don't feel like setting up a tent. That looks like hard work. I'll go hunting. It's up to you.
I feel like for my own ability to find my way back, I'm going to wait till we choose a place. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go try and get some fresh ration. And so I'll see y'all. And like, I fumble with my bow with my little mitten hands and I'm like, shit.
Don't make the party a moving target to return to. Just make sure you know where they are before you leave.
And I just kind of like glumly walk off with like rigid determination on my face. Sure, this is going to go perfectly fine.
Beautiful. So that I think that there's either Juniper or Saki with Corey's assistance. Again, I'm sorry you keep having to be the responsible people in this party. It just keeps...
We've resigned ourselves.
Yeah, it is what it is at this point, right?
Corey is trying his best to learn, but he's just not very useful yet.
So I can roll a 6 and 4 on this check.
I would do an 8 and a 4, so maybe I'll roll for slightly better odds.
Corey, can you roll Dex in as well? See how you're helping?
Yes.
That is a 9.
And Corey got an 8.
Okay, so Corey doesn't actually help. But your target was still a 9. And we'll quote that ye olde D&D rule as well. Meets beats.
I got a question. Does a camping check count as part of the travel checks for the day, or is it a separate thing?
It is one of the journey checks, but it's not a travel check.
Okay, then never mind. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes. So within the journey checks, you have condition, travel, direction, and camping.
Okay.
So if you have an ability that says a travel check, that would be the second of the journey checks.
Awesome.
But despite Corey not necessarily being the most helpful, a 9 is enough for a rainy forest for you to set up a solid camp. Which means you can, in the end, pass your night quietly, reasonably dry. Anyone with hit point issues doubles their hit points, and anyone who spent magic points recovers all of them. It also means that in the morning, Jace can try and recover from their poison status. But that is not a given. They just have a better chance. Bringing me to Jace for your hunting ability, because I know you can normally just go out and get your stuff, but you're once again wearing sock mittens because you're incredibly poisoned. Walk me through this. How does this work? What does it look like?
Yeah, so I have my sock mittens on and set out into the woods to hunt in a downpour, which also is just stacking stuff against me.
Yep.
So the dice are a d6 and a d4, so I'm going to roll them and let that kind of inform if this is
Sounds about right.
a thing that happens. And that is a 1 on the d4 plus a 4 for 5.
A 5. You shoot some arrows, but no animals.
I sort of give up, having definitely like messed up my hand wounds, and kind of trudge dejectedly back to camp. Yep. Oh, camp's looking good.
I helped. He's got all the enthusiasm of a child on a camping trip where it's like, oh yeah, you helped, sweetie.
Yeah, I'm just like, you sure did, honey.
Good job. Jace was going out to catch dinner. I don't know if the fire's ready for whatever Jace caught, or...
Well, bad news on the dinner front. I think the animals are asleep and stuff because it's rainy. So the hardtack it is.
And crocodile jerky.
All right.
Corey's going to share some of that if anyone wants any.
Fair enough.
Take a little piece. Thank you.
So for the end of the day, please mark off, Quartermaster, 4 rations and 4 water. Nothing for the animals, because you have enough people and baby animals that they count as free travel companions. My favorite leading question. You said a watch.
Considering the bees that
Yeah.
were nearby, yes.
Yeah.
I think Corey will take first watch, though, because he's also going to do quartermaster stuff, such as leave the barrel out and open to get rain to replenish the water barrel.
Okay. We have a second watch.
And set up tarp for the animals so they're not all
I'll
wet.
take second watch.
We have a third watch.
I'll take third watch.
I will go fourth.
Beautiful. It's fine. Your DM is taking notes for no reason.
Concern.
Definitely not suspicious.
It's
Hey,
Ryuutama. What's the worst that can happen? You
Ryuutama
already
run
passed
by
your
Anniek
You already passed your camping check, right? No one's gonna die tonight.
tonight.
At the very least, Jace gets enough sleep. Probably.
Yep.
Well, do.
All right. Everybody beds down. The chicken is up a tree. The goats are tethered. One with rope, one with a crochet garrote. The fox is poured out of a bag to sleep on a blanket so Juniper can actually access her stuff for the night. Jace still... No, wait. Again, proudly wearing sock mittens.
Return on the sock mittens.
All right. Corey. There's you and the forest and 3 people sound asleep. How do you make it through a watch?
Every now and then, he checks on the goats to make sure they haven't slipped their little leashes.
Do you know, have you ever seen videos of chickens brooding on things that aren't chicks?
Yes.
Mr. Keko is currently on top of these baby goats and they're pretending they're baby chickens. They're snuggled in together, comfortably warm. All they have to do when they're hungry is lift up one little head and have a little nibble.
Good job, Mr. Kecko.
Sage is dreaming a little. You can see her little back foot, like, kick, just a little.
Corey is going to find a portion of bird that is not ivied, if at all possible. Is there any portion of this bird that is not ivied?
The higher you go, the less ivy, but it's growing quickly.
Yeah, he's gonna just kind of pat him on the beak / comb region, because, like, there you go. Good work.
Fluffs out his feathers a little more.
Makes himself another umbrella to go do his night rounds, just kind of wander around a little bit and come back to sit under the tarp. Checks on the water, checks on the animals. That's mostly how he spends his watch. Occasional looking out into the woods to, see what's out there.
I mean, there's no killer bees. There's plenty of animal life.
Is it pretty? Is it cute?
I'll leave cute up to you, but for as far as pretty, like you're from Geyser, right? It's You're used to rocky things and harsh succulents and things that survive.
And lichen,
dry,
and,
warm, salty,
evergreen.
Gross. Exactly.
Yeah.
This forest is, I think the best word is lush. Everything is growing really well, right? There's undergrowth, there's shrubbery, there's trees, and a lot of the small rodent life has decided to hide, but some of the smaller nocturnal animals are hopping around, and there's big birds trying to hunt them, and they look like foxes, but they're probably not, because most foxes don't have 3 tails. And they're just sort of, they look at you, they decide you're not a threat, and then they start hunting things again. And a lot of things aren't the color that they're used to being. Like, a lot of things, it's not all the trees are green. Here, a lot of animals are green and purple and blue and red, and it's just, everything's color shifted a little. But in general shape and behavior, it makes sense.
He absolutely waves at those 3-tailed foxes when they pass by, just kind of a little shy, like, oh, hello. Goes, then just keeping watch, I guess.
Nothing shocking happens during your watch.
So goes to, I think it's Saki next. Just kind of goes over and pat, 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 pat.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm getting up.
Your turn for watch. If the Anniek, if the barrel is full, he'd have covered it back up.
Oh yeah, it fills up during your watch.
Okay.
Just put the lid back on before you go to bed.
Yep. And that's it. That's all she wrote for him.
I mean, that's like the ideal watch, right? Nothing horrible happened, and you get to go to bed.
I saw some cute animals and a cute chicken deciding it's got baby goat chickens.
Do you hand your leaf umbrella to Saki before you?
Yes.
Okay. Hand over the ceremonial umbrella.
Yep, and I head out.
You get a +1 to rolls involving rainy weather, so...
That would have been super helpful today.
Yeah! Sorry.
Okay. Saki, Corey, oh god, you're so lucky. You get to roll into a pre-warmed bedroll. Leave your damp... I'm going to assume you undress so your damp shit doesn't wet the tent for everybody else. Saki, you have to leave the warm bedroll and put on your gear and sit outside.
Yep. Yep. So I'm out there and I have my axe and I'm kind of using it to kind of balance myself and kind of leaning, umbrella one hand, leaning against the axe on the other. But do we have like a little fire out, or has it been extinguished yet?
Unless someone is actively keeping a fire going despite the rain and the amount of smoke it produces, it would have gone out by now.
Okay. That's fair. And yeah, I'm a little bit miserable, but I'm otherwise fulfilling my duties on watch. You know, I'm just very like keeping quiet, keeping lookout, trying to see if anything catches my eye.
I mean, roughly the same for you as for Corey. A lot of things in this forest like assess you. Like, do we need to deal with you? Are you a problem? But if you're just gonna stand there in the rain with a little umbrella, a lot of the wildlife just accepts you and passes you by. The three-tailed foxes clearly live nearby. They sort of scamper around. One of them, briefly checks out the giant chicken. Just not necessarily like touching it, just sort of, you see that nose go up in the air and just doesn't smell like a chicken because there's also goats underneath, but they can't see them. So your camp gets, you become like a little tourist area, right? There's a lot of things going, the fuck is this? Do we need to deal with this? But you have a solid camp. All the foodstuffs are put away, so nothing comes to like try and eat your shit. Plenty of things check you out and pass you by.
So everything's kind of in the smaller animal range.
Yes, you've seen nothing human-sized yet, or larger.
Yeah, so otherwise I'm having a fairly chill night. It's chilly, but nothing I can't handle.
The umbrella really helps.
Yeah.
Considering that it's like a weird leaf shape, it seems to like almost divert the water away from you in the sense that it's clearly magical and does a better job than it has any right doing.
And I just think to myself, it's like I gotta compliment Corey on this, but also make him make more of these.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
This would be great for everybody.
Now I have a question: are these three-tailed foxes, are they common creatures or are they unusual?
You've never seen one before.
Ah, okay.
They seem comfortable enough to be local.
Okay. Interesting.
You've definitely never seen one before.
I've never seen one. So I'm equally fascinated by them as they are with me, but I'm not like actively coming up to them and
you're not like chucking rations to try and lure them closer.
Yeah.
We're respecting the wildlife.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
I think about it, but I don't. I have self-control and I stop myself.
Being the sensible person kicks in again. All right. For you as well, your watch passes otherwise uneventfully if you have no other plans that you want to put into motion.
No, just to get back in the tent and wake up Juniper and just kind of, just a soft hey. And I'm still kind of hovering over them a little bit, so I'm kind of like kicking them lightly with my foot. Just like, hey, wake up. It's your turn.
I'm up. Hey, okay. And she does kind of begrudgingly get up. She does grab she grabs her nightlight fox, the gloves, and the gardening shears.
Your fox is less than pleased. It's more, there's like 3 bodies to curl up against, and you're gonna drag him out into the rain. Like, he'll go because he's your familiar, but he's not pleased.
I'm like, you're gonna need this, and they hand over the umbrella as well.
Thank you.
Your fox sort of like I don't know if you've ever owned like rats or ferrets or whatever, but they have this habit of trying to crawl down your shirt to where it's warm and cozy. So your fox is like head first down your shirt.
I think she kind of like takes him out and situates him so he's like underneath her hair, like around her neck, so like a little glowing furry scarf, essentially, kind of protected by her hair.
Puts the tail across the eyes, going, I know. Just no.
And she's gonna get a bowl of water from our bucket, and if the goats are like partially accessible from the chicken, I kind of want to try to harvest some of their sage and ginger leaves while they're asleep and not super active, and then just like wash them off because they're probably coated in poison juice.
I mean, you have to move some of the poison ivy to access the goats. They're thoroughly snuggled under there, so I would ask for a dex in check to get to the goats. It's up to you if you want to risk it.
I do have my gloves. Does that do anything for me?
It increases the target number before you get poisoned, yes.
Okay, dex int.
Yes.
That is an 8.
Okay. So you were looking for a 9. But it is high enough to not get poisoned. I think where this goes wrong is that you're like trying to look under Baron Keko to get to this baby goat, and he just opens one eye and glares at you for disturbing his children.
I don't believe this chicken is a dad now.
This chicken was always a dad.
What I'm hearing is that Corey's been replaced, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Unfortunately, by smaller, cuter critters.
Oh,
If Corey had siblings, this would have happened ages ago.
You're not wrong. So you don't get poisoned because of your gloves, but you don't manage to get any ginger or sage.
Okay.
I almost imagine you're getting like your hair nipped at by a chicken. Just like, no.
He doesn't even have to go that far. He just glares, and Juniper gets the message and backs away. You've seen this chicken. Just walk away.
He's a menace.
You could have just slept through it. But fine.
Is there anything else you want to do in your watch?
No, I think she's just kind of sulking and resigned to sitting out in the rain with her umbrella and fox scarf.
Again, the umbrella really helps.
She's probably like looking around, but also occasionally glaring back at the chicken, just like, you took my one activity away.
The chicken is pulling that absolute, I don't know who you are or what you want from me face. Also, definitely pretending to be asleep. Your watch passes uneventfully, other than, the chicken now knows you're after its babies. Keko will remember this.
I'm trying to earn the money to buy you guys nice treats, so, like, you don't want nice treats, that's on you. But she'll go and kind of gently shake Jace by the shoulder, just like, it's your turn.
And like sits up super, super fast after like half a second. So it's like dangerously close to like clunking into you. All right, I'm on it. And I like look around and just kind of bundle up in like whatever I didn't have like properly on and just like go outside.
She definitely hands off the umbrella before
This
before
is
they
so
get too far.
cool. I'm just like,
I'm gonna do it. Okay. Flags. Once you summon an umbrella, is it just there forever or does it have a duration?
It has a 12-hour duration.
When did you summon your umbrella? Because I think you said lunch.
That one got eaten. He summoned another one at the
Dinner?
end of the day. Yeah, right before he took his watch. Because
Okay.
I don't want to be sitting out here in the
Fair enough. So just mark off your magic points for 2 umbrellas for today. Jace,
that's
is there
me.
anything exciting you want to do during your watch?
No, I would just try and like sort of hunker down in the driest spot possible and just keep an eye out.
Okay. Can you roll me? So, like towards the end of your watch, when the horizon is lightening a little bit, can you roll me Spirit Int? It's a very low DC.
Okay. Oh, 6?
A 6? I mean, that's technically high enough.
Oh.
You don't see any of the 3-tailed foxes I described to the rest of the group. I don't know if you're currently in alchemy, but on the map you have like a little circle of mushrooms that have been there the whole evening. They're like under some of these trees. And as the horizon starts to lighten, right, we're approaching dawn, one of these mushrooms starts moving.
Like out of place or just kind of like swaying?
Like out of place. It's very small. It's not yay high.
I sort of like hop up and kind of like move to try and get like a better like line of sight on it and just kind of see where it's going, see what it's up to.
It seems to be aiming to catch a little bit of wind that is picking up as you see a little timid dragon with a little snail shell on its back and a little mushroom umbrella that's trying to catch the wind so they can hold its mushroom aloft and fly away.
And just involuntary, like, cutest thing you've ever seen, like, squeak noise. You're such a cute little buddy.
There should be a picture of it in the discussion in the Ryuutama channel.
Oh. I feel like I wouldn't follow it if it seemed like it had a plan, but I would just kind of keep trying, like, see its success and which direction it ended up going, and kind of, as the sun rises, just have a moment with a flying dragon thing.
It's just picking up the wind. It's sort of like... It's kind of slimy because it's wet, obviously. You've learned the symbol for like rainy weather on maps and in school, and you suddenly understand where that symbol came from because it's clearly derived from this little dragon. And it's not spooked by you, it's not scared of you, it's just leaving as the sky clears up and the clouds drift away, and it looks to be a dry day rather than a rainy day. And you see this little boy, it glistens in like this super early morning sun. Again, it's sort of like a jelly, like slimy exterior, but not in a gross way, but in a cute way.
Like a salamander.
Exactly, like those axolotls that can't stop smiling. And it notices you noticing it, but it just keeps sort of pretending it's just a mushroom. Like, as soon as you, like, make eye contact, it just looks away going, no, I am definitely not
mushroom.
here. I am definitely just a mushroom. And as it gets picked up by the morning wind and floats away, the rain stops.
Almost like magic.
Almost.
At that point, I would probably be like awake and like invigorated, and just try and maybe light a fire or something. Camp stuff. I'd try and do camp stuff.
Try and do camp stuff. Beautiful. We'll go to break first and deal with your camp stuff second. How does that sound? Excellent. We'll be back here in 10 to 15 minutes after people have had hydration options, petted their pets, stretched a little, thought about dragons and how to deal with them. And we'll be right back. Bye, everybody. Hi, hello, and welcome back to our wonderful Ryuutama party that have been put back on the road by our tech person as we got a little bit distracted behind the scenes by data knowledge that may or may not come into the play the rest of this game today. There are very clear goals for our characters that our players are already aware of. And we'll see how real dice curses really are, I guess. We come back to our party mid-waking up, early morning, sunlight just breaking over the horizon. That time before the light turns yellow, where it's still sort of bluish and cold. The rain has stopped as Jace noticed a adorable little rain dragon leave the area. Pictures available in our public Discord for those interested. Started a fire now that the rain has ended. And finished the 4th watch. What's next, Jace?
I kind of assume people would like wake up as the sun starts to hit tents. So I wouldn't be being overly loud going about the business, just assuming that like within the next like half hour, everyone will be like making their way up and out and we start to break camp then. If it's like, if the sun is fully up and people are still asleep, I'll start making noise though.
Question to the 3 of you. Do you actually wake up when the sunlight hits the tent, or you're like, nah?
Ori's circadian rhythm is kind of wonky, having been, farm kids wake up early. So
I feel like, again, Saki does naturally wake up early from having to work in like a blacksmithing shop and working the forge, but begrudgingly so.
I think definitely begrudgingly on Juniper's part, especially because she had the second to last watch, so she feels like she was just awake.
Just went back to bed.
So she's up, but she's not happy about it.
Third watch attitude. All right.
Gets kind of gently climbed over on the way out of the tent. Just, excuse me, pardon me, sorry.
Just the amount of noise people make when they think they're being quiet while camping, which is extra loud because you're camping.
Just all the polyester.
Yeah. Oh, the rustling. All right. I'm so excited for this. Can everyone roll me a condition check?
As we're prepping for the morning, Corey is going to do a little bit of magic. He does the vacation vitality. Let me double check that the details of that one real quick.
These parts.
Yeah, it's one person. So considering that that Jace was having a bad day yesterday, just plays a wonderful little song. This little scattering of fine ash settles over your shoulders, and it's like, yeah, you now get a +2 to whatever your condition is about to be.
Okay.
It's a good sign.
It's kind of a temporary fix, but it is something.
Ew.
So I rolled an 8, but with that +2, it goes up to a 10.
No, I think only Jace has the +2.
Jace.
Only
Okay.
Jace. Unfortunately,
I
it's
missed
a
that part.
one-person thing.
I missed
so
that part.
Saki has an 8 for the day.
My sleep was interrupted. That's my excuse.
Fair. Juniper.
I have a 9.
I'm skipping over Kai on purpose because I can see that face from here. Lex, what did Corey get?
Unfortunately, Corey got a 6.
A solid 6. Okay. So, Kai, what did Jace get?
I also got a 6.
A solid 6, and that's with the +2.
I rolled 2s on the dice.
So, the good news is things don't get worse for you. I'm gonna scroll down in my rule book real quick. Hey, you say poison, though.
Neat.
For you.
Oh.
The party has a reroll left.
I also messed that up because I would have still been poisoned, so I should have rolled another d6, but they were both 2s, so does it even... Because I rolled an 8 and a 6 instead of 2 6s.
Oh God. Yeah, no, that's
Please,
it's
please.
your
Please
strength
use the
stays
reroll.
down until you
Please use the reroll.
but people have donated for more rerolls, so you can reroll.
Please use the reroll.
So
I
then
fear for-
that brings us up to 9.
A 9. So that would put you into the non-poisoned category for today. Praise be to Ida, the stream cat who tipped the stream with her allowance.
Thanks, Stream Cat. Excellent.
Excellent indeed. It only leaves Corey with a less than stellar condition for today. But at least you don't start off awful. Jace, you finish building the fire. And you take off, like you're warming your hands and you take off your sock mittens. And it's like your body's learning to deal with this after repeated exposure. Not to encourage you towards repeat exposure, but you're recovering faster this time than you were last time.
Cool. Do they look like the air would do them good if I just...
Yeah, it looks more like air drying them is probably better than keeping socks, because the socks themselves are kind of...
Okay, I'll
after
kind of...
being on your feet all day and then going on your hands.
Yeah, I'll dry the socks really well by the fire.
Smart.
Put them back on my feet.
Also smart. You can use all your digits again. Look at you. Okay. No need for breakfast, unless you really want to. Break up camp. I'll point out that the lower half of Baron Keko is grazed down considerably, as apparently baby goats had breakfast in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good news. And wherever is free, and I think Corey still has the gloves on just in case, or, asks whomever has the gloves to borrow them so he can just kind of scratch the bird, on his chest. Just like, there you go. That's better.
You hear an ungodly amount of burping and belching coming from the goats, though. Like, they're clearly processing something.
Lord.
Maybe we should let them take a break from eating that stuff.
Like, I know they technically can, but maybe we shouldn't let them just
Yeah, a little
eat the IV.
variation. I mean, also they ate a ton of it and they just woke up. They probably just need to walk it off, poop a little.
I believe. Speaking of food, about how long is it going to take us to get to Crosswood? But what is our estimate on that in the general sense? GM.
Oh, you're asking me. I mean, you were giving an estimate on leaving the farm.
I just don't remember it. I forgot to write it down.
Several days.
I've been out one day.
Correct. A lot of it depended on whether you were going to go around the lake or get a boat across the lake or whatever your plans were. Apparently yesterday you decided to go around the lake, which puts you at several days. 2, 3, 4, depending on your speed.
So we should hunt and gather, survive.
Yeah. I am awful sorry about that. I got so caught up in the tent business and the bird business, I forgot to get more rations.
Well,
we have a day of rations.
So like today?
Yes. Just kind of trying to hide behind like his guitar.
I just try to like look at Saki for help and instruction.
Asking out of character, we've been using like the party rations, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I still have 2 personal rations then.
So Saki's good.
Okay. If I decide to share.
You decide to share, 2 people are good. Pick your favorite party member. I'm sure this won't give any sort of strife.
No, I'm just gonna hold on to it. For now, I'll save it.
Okay. I mean, Jace isn't poisoned anymore. Maybe Jace can get some real good stuff today. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I could go hunt, but I like having food.
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
Again, I'm real sorry about that.
Well, I mean,
Another question asking out of character. If I have trapping, which means I can harvest materials from a defeated monster, does that include anything that we hunt? Or is it specifically any type of
If you
creature?
defeat a monster, you can like harvest teeth, skin, claws, etc. So if Jace successfully hunts anything and brings the entire corpse back, you can harvest non-edible materials.
Okay, that was my
before
point.
trapping.
That was my question.
Yeah,
Cool.
so Jace hunts the food, and then you use whatever Jace doesn't use for feeding the party. You get the non-edible bits.
Alright.
Where non-edible is kind of a personal choice in some cases. You know, if people eat things I wouldn't eat. That's up to your character. No.
Please don't try to eat the teeth.
Just just do like a risk reward math in your head before you eat things that are questionable, especially since you don't have a healer. Is all I'm asking.
Worry.
Just don't put weird things in your mouth. I can't believe I'm saying don't put weird things in your mouth to a adventuring party. I'm not your mother. Do whatever you want. Put weird things in your mouth. Do what you want to do. Where's the party going today?
So before we decide that, I kind of, as a player, need to know where we're at. We went around Bee Forest.
You're currently in lush forest. The how damp it is makes you think you're near the large lake near Liverwen that you have to go up and past to get to Crosswood. Near lakeside.
Well, maybe we should get to the lake edge and go along the lake edge. Seems like might be a little more well-traveled.
Probably.
Probably. And then it
Yeah.
helps us to ensure that we're
Going
not
the
getting
right
lost
way.
because we'll just be edging along it.
Yeah, it's a big landmark.
There could be fish in the lake.
Yeah.
Maybe if we're lucky, we catch some fish.
Does anyone have like a net or a hook?
This is such a well-prepared party. I don't know, did anyone buy fishing gear, considering the fact that the economy in this game is completely bonkers?
No, I was just hoping
have a
maybe we could
lantern.
just bare hand reach out and grab one.
I'm only equipped to do some light gardening. I've got the gardening
Reach out and
book
grab it. I like how
and
we're going like
gloves.
grizzly bear levels of fishing capabilities.
Okay.
I'm going to write that down in my journal of things I need to buy.
Sure. Next time you find a town.
Can I try to bowfish if this comes up?
Probably. I mean, I'll let, yes, hunting and fishing. I'll let you bowfish. I'll let you spearfish if you're carrying a spear. You know what? I'll let you try and grab a fish out of the water because who knows? It might actually work.
Yeah.
I've seen people do weirder things. But first,
headed towards the lake.
we're going to go see if your journey to the lake goes smoothly. Travel checks, please. I will spoiler you and say that your target number is a mix today because we're switching terrains. But the weather remains quite lovely, so the weather isn't giving you a penalty.
Are we rolling movement and direction?
We're starting with travel, and then I'll ask for direction later because, again, you don't have a mapper, so I'll need to know who's rolling and who's helping.
That is a 9 for Corey.
That's also
Okay.
a 9 for Saki.
Oh,
you're
also
doing so
a
well.
9.
Nice.
Weird.
Got
Wow.
a 4.
Oh no! Oh, well, we were doing so well.
I don't
Oh.
Chase.
I'm a person.
I need to-
Chase.
Have
Reminder,
you considered,
buy
like
bubble wrap?
sacrificing a small animal for your dice curse or something?
Well,
or...
no, it's because now I'm just like. Here's the story. I was at a bar the other day and they had a D20 and they were like, roll for a shot. And I was like, I'll do this. It'll be fine. The natural one is Malort, which is absolutely terrible if you've never had it. And I was like, I won't roll a 1. It'll be fine. Rolled a 1. Malort.
That is special in a terrible,
Yes.
terrible kind of way.
Bucky is tempted to add this universe's equivalent to bubble wrap to my list of things to buy.
Sure, Jason makes it to
Specifically.
the end of the campaign.
Assuming he even makes it that far.
So,
Oh, real.
oh,
She
God.
rather, yeah.
How many hit points do you have right now?
Well, I got back up to the full amount, so 20? Does that sound right?
Sure.
That's good.
So you lose half again.
What? Oh, okay, that, yeah.
Yesterday you walked into a ditch. Tell me how you lose half your hit points today.
You said it was mixed terrain. What terrains are we?
We're going from forest to sort of like the area around the lake is very sandy, almost like a sandy beach.
Okay. So like as we're kind of coming out of the forest, like I make it for a while, just feeling good about myself, starting to feel confident. Like, yeah, today's gonna go great. It's gonna be perfect. I am coming out of the forest. It's just like that thing where the terrain is changing, and I definitely step in a hole this time and just kind of am stuck for a minute. It's just like between some roots where stuff is washing out, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh
No one look at me. I got this.
I mean, the entire party notices. Who's helping Jace?
I'll help Jace.
Each of us like grabs an arm
Yeah,
until enough
and
of Jace is enough to.
And I'm holding on to both of you and pulling back as well.
I do not have. Corey's not a strong boy. Corey's not strong.
I'm strong.
I am also very strong.
It's not even a fumble, so you don't even get a fumble point. That's what's the worst about it, is you're failing, but not hard enough, right?
You somehow failed at failing. I don't understand.
It's like an F-. Oh no.
Oh.
That's it. That's how it goes.
So let's
My
see how
baby.
long let's see how far you actually get today and get to this direction check. With poor injured Jace stumbling along with you. I mean, you don't have a new main mapper. Like, we'll vote at the end of this session who becomes the official new mapper. But for now, it's like an ad hoc position. Who's doing it today?
I can just keep taking care of our direction checks if no one else wants to.
Please
Who's
do.
helping
I'm
you?
cool with it. Yeah.
I can help.
All right, the moms of the party.
While Corey is like patting dirt off of Jace over there, just like, no, we don't want sand all over you because sand is not fun.
Got an 8.
The goats have been tethered to people with all kinds of rope at this point.
Maybe if we tie them to Jace, like they'll keep Jace balanced.
Or I'll pull the goats into a hole.
Oh no. Saki, what did you roll to help?
I only rolled 2. So that I didn't do much. Again, we're at the map upside down.
And Juniper, you got an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Can your DM kindly suggest you use a rifle?
Okay. Well,
In case you want to get anywhere at all today,
Oh gosh.
we'll
considering
use,
if I did
use
your
a
target
reroll.
number is 9.
Gosh.
So either you reroll or Saki can reroll to try and
that's a lot
actually
better.
help. Okay, good. We're getting somewhere.
12.
I'm just saying, if you're running out of food, now is not a good time to start failing your direction checks because then the food runs out harder.
12. We're good.
12, you're good. You grab the map from Saki, which he was holding upside down. You go, no. This is north. There's the lake, right? You can hear the lake at this point. That away.
Oh, that makes way more sense, honestly. Like, Saki is very directionally challenged. Remember, she lives on an island in the middle of a lake, so just a circle.
Exactly. Like wherever you look, there's the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, Juniper, by the grace of the divine beings that have granted this party rerolls, manages to find north, find east, find northeast, and get you towards this lake. Jace, again, despite their condition being somewhat better, still having a great day. Corey also just a little bit, not glum, but just not great, right? Saki and Juniper, regular day's travel. Is there anything you want to do while you're traveling? Anything you want to look for?
I mean, it's
A boat.
A boat. Check. Okay.
and it would slow us down to try and find food right now, correct?
Unless you wanted to hunt right now, because your ability doesn't slow the party down. You can just be like, I'll be back in 2 hours. We'll see what we find. Honestly, it's probably smart for you to try and hunt before you reach the lake, unless you're dead set on bow fishing, because you're more likely to find edible things in the woods.
Okay, I will, I will go and hunt and try and, walk off some of my shame at falling in a hole for a second day in a row.
Look, today's a hole, yesterday's a ditch. They're completely different.
Yeah, right, just things and then. Okay, what am I doing?
You're too busy being a leader. Yes, just hunting.
Such terrible leadership. What kind of die am I rolling? A 4 and a 6.
You're leading by example of what not to do, which is step in holes.
Perfect.
You're identifying the threats before the party steps into them. What is that
Don't
face?
tell me that.
What is that face?
I rolled double 2s again?
Okay, so tell me what it looks like when Jace returns to the party and how many arrows you've wasted.
Are we supposed to be keeping track of arrows?
No, just for a general feel for everything.
Yeah, so I started out once again, like walked a bit, kind of got my knee to like re-straighten out, and then I'm like feeling a little bit better, seeing some like ground birds or whatever is out here. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get one of these. We're gonna eat this little roast chicken thing tonight, and then I like pull out my bow and absolutely like trip over a tree root and just let an arrow go flying.
There's this flock of like purple grouse flapping away loudly, which alerts everything else in the area just for the sake of being loud and obnoxious and crashing into branches.
I just lay on the forest floor for a minute and consider just like turning around and going home. Like, fuck. Then I get back up and start heading for the party.
Alright, well, the party is true to their direction, thanks to Juniper, so you find them easily enough. So Saki, Juniper, Corey, as you're walking around from the western area, you see Jace walking up to you, sand still in their hair, sort of a dejected look on her face, bow slung over her shoulder, not notably carrying anything to eat.
No luck.
And I just go, oh, honey. And I come and I hug Jay. So
we can try
like,
again later.
Yeah.
There's always tonight.
You tried. Yeah.
There's just so many tree roots out there.
Oh.
And so few birds.
Maybe fishing will go better.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean,
I'll help.
Okay. I do apparently need a lot of help. Just realizing things is what Jace is doing.
I mean, valuable life lessons are being learned. You are approaching this, weirdly enough, unnamed lake. Like, everything has a name, right? Mountains have names, towns have names. This is just the lake. You approach its shore. You don't see any boats, I'm sorry, Corey. But in the distance, you do see a rather large building. Sort of beigey sandstone, partly on the shore, partly in the water.
Is it on the other side of the lake or on our side?
No, your side of the lake.
Okay.
Do we have a guess at what this building would be, like from the outside at all? Does it look like a fort?
Roll int. Your favorite.
I believe in the dice. Ooh, oh.
That was a 7 for Corey.
Would you critically success this, but starve to death?
I rolled 1 4 and got really excited, but then the other one's a 1, so.
I got a
no.
10.
Oh, a 10 is good.
It was
Saki?
int.
Int.
What is that? That's a 2 again. That's double ones.
Oh, beautiful. Take a fumble point.
I feel like that's the safest kind of way to get fumble points.
Yeah, it's just not seeing the giant building ahead.
I think you see the giant building, you're just completely convinced it's like a Fata Morgana or something. Like, no, that's
absolutely.
just like the reflection of the clouds on the water and the trees.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing those. Yeah.
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 Totally fake. Not there. Juniper on a 10 doesn't necessarily look like a fort. It would certainly be big enough to be a fort, but it has like no defensive qualities. You also don't see any people. Layout-wise from the outside, either giant commerce building or temple or something for lots of people to get together. But you don't see anybody.
Well, I mean, it's on our way, so we might as well check it out. We're going around the lake anyways, right?
We're gonna check out the creepy bandit building on the unnamed lake.
We don't know that it's abandoned. We just don't know we don't see anyone out here. Maybe they're all just
Exactly.
inside. It's like almost lunchtime, probably. Maybe. Sort
It
of.
could be a nice place to stop.
Maybe they're being used as a storehouse and we'll get lucky and be able to restock. Right?
Okay. Those are better possibilities. It's just been a long day already.
Fair enough.
The nervous laughter is in character, by the way.
Fair enough. Are we approaching as a group? Are we single filing this? What's our approach? Not a leading question, just curious.
Corey is not gonna be cautious at all because, like, in the sense of it's not like he's being reckless, but it's like, I don't know to be concerned about this particular building. It's just a big building on a lake. Neat.
Probably same, honestly. I don't think Juniper's really
worried.
particularly wary or worried about the building.
As you move from the shore up what looks like a very long pathway onto the building proper, there is a map on Alchemy. There's cultivated areas of like greenery and plants and gardens. There are watchtowers. There is a larger central structure that looks like it would house a lot of people. There is a bit of a walkway out towards the lake that has crumbled a little bit. You still don't see any people.
Well,
Gardens are nice.
Yeah, maybe we can see if we can find something edible here and restock a little bit. And
maybe there's fruit.
Exactly.
Jace is just in the back making like the Tina Belcher sound.
But like, I think Corey on one level is like willfully ignoring the fact that it's spring and almost no fruits will be in season. Just willful ignorance on that part.
Maybe it will be. Oh,
if you're looking around a little more, it reminds you of the look of that vine dragon you met on Fern's fabulous farm. Everything is like super at the end of spring, right? There are blossoms that are unnaturally large that should be bearing fruit at this point. There are trees that look like they should be bearing so much fruit, but they just haven't yet. This place is in summer. This would be perfect. You could eat to your stomach's delight. I was going to say your heart's content, but currently your stomachs are more important. But this place is very much stuck in spring. If you're just looking at the plants and things that are growing here. And some of the large blossoms are starting to wilt, right? If summer doesn't show up soon, things are going to go the wrong way again, right? They're going to wilt, they're going to rot, they're going to decay.
Mm-hmm.
Your goats don't care. They're eating everything.
One of these trees that's supposed to be bearing fruit, Corey's going to, do his, musical goodness, do his vacation vitality spell, ritual, whatever the heck this is. But, I mean, it's not really going to make fruit happen. It's just makes him feel better and hopefully makes the plant feel better.
Some of the wilted leaves are like recover a little bit, like they go back a little bit in their development. They don't go forward to fruit, but they go back away from wilting.
Well, that's good.
Maybe there's stuff further inside.
I sure hope so.
Maybe we'll get lucky and there'll be like a stone fruit or something. They're in season in spring sometimes, right?
Or like grains or like preserved stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh yeah, there could be preserves in the place.
You're going into the large building?
We're really going into the large building. What if it's ghosts?
Well, then we ask real nicely if these ghosts will share the preserves with us.
Yeah, because ghosts don't need to eat.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, ghosts. No, it will just go right through them. It'll just right on the floor.
Just brings up the rear very
Inside,
reluctantly.
like, will this make you feel better? And I again bring out my axe, like, kind of in like walking stick formation, but holding onto it. I was like, well, I will protect in case anything happens. I'll take point.
Oh, okay. I also already have my bow out. Just came out of nowhere.
Kecko, I'm gonna need to borrow this. And he takes the rope off of Mr. Kecko, and as they're going, he's just cheerfully tying knots in this rope until he has like one end of it is about the size of a fist. So, you know, if push comes to shove, he can clump something with a piece of rope.
Sure. Creepy. You're heading into this larger building, fully on guard, ready for whatever awaits you. And you step into this large atrium, full of light, very quiet, like little bits of dust floating in the sun rays. There's no one here. You do notice little side tables that look like people have placed offerings on. There's some weird looking apples, lots of journals and notebooks and sheets of paper, and dead center a little raised dais with stone carvings, like in sandstone. Like they look like it's sand sculptures, but it's actually stone, so it doesn't crumble all the time. Of seasonal dragons, of dragons turning from spring to summer to fall to winter, and a very soft pillow with an indent, and not an egg.
Hello?
Can
Hello?
I peek through like some of the like papers and journals, just like skimming to see if I can figure out what like
All travel journals. All stories people gathered, collected, wrote down from their journeys. Some written in crayon, so you get the feeling that maybe children made up some stuff to put down here rather than having gone out into the world with a walking stick at age 4. But the majority of like things that were actually written in ink, travel journals. Someone describing how they went all the way to Flower Bedford, which is like a week away, and how it was the most harrowing journey of their life. They never left the road. And how everything was deeply horrible and uncomfortable. They had to share a 4-person room at the inn rather than getting a single-person room at the inn. And how the food was the worst they ever had. Like, they had to eat vegetables. But also people telling actual stories of the time they saw a dragon that stopped the waves in Whitecap, which caused a purported town, but they saved the dragon and saved the city. And the time someone walked into a cactus and nearly died, and it was only 8 a.m. I think that one resonates with Jace.
I turn to Corey and I say, "Hey, didn't Dave mention something about stories?"
Egg gets fed stories, but there's no egg. Do you think it hatched? Walked away?
Well, I mean, if it's the
But
if it's the dragon that's active right now, this would be the spring dragon's temple, right? Because that's the dragon that's still spring.
I am going to investigate like the pillow. And do I see like egg fragments or anything?
There are no egg fragments. You don't even have to roll for it. It is a very empty pillow, not warm to the touch at all. Yeah, just a pillow. I mean, it certainly looks like the kind of pillow that would support an egg.
What if someone stole it?
So they go back to being an egg at the end of every season. Is that what goes on with these guys?
It depends on the dragon. Once they hatch, their new season always begins, and then they can either stick around and just get bigger every time it becomes their season, but usually a hatched dragon will go off and make mischief in the world and leave behind a new egg.
Well, maybe that dragon was just having fun and we just have to... What do they do? Take a nap?
Do they lay an egg? I don't know.
Considering what you got from Dave, in this particular era, they were waiting for a summer dragon to hatch. They were trying to get an egg to hatch, yes. I'm just saying dragons are notoriously unreliable. So like 99 out of 100 times you're waiting for an egg to hatch, and every 100 dragon is just going to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna participate in this. But in this instance, they were waiting for a summer egg to hatch.
And that all the other eggs are accounted for.
There was an egg.
There. So if you're looking around this temple more, especially Corey, because you have summer magic, the statues around this pedestal are inscribed with the symbols that denote your type of magic. Like there's a little scroll for your cute leaf spell, and there's a little scroll for vacation vitality. There's briars that are on the floor that would be the Briar Nono spell. There's little inscriptions that suggest magical mosquito nets that are all the domain of summer magic. So this certainly seems like the place a summer dragon egg should be.
But who takes a dragon egg?
Well, I mean, maybe the spring dragon just didn't bring a summer egg back.
But they said they was waiting for one to hatch.
But that doesn't mean there was an egg at all. Maybe all of this is just preparation for the egg.
It's awfully late if it's just preparation.
I mean, I guess we won't really know until we find the spring dragon, and maybe it doesn't know that there's something wrong.
I'm half tempted to start like looking through the journals and see if there's like a clue, if anyone's written about seeing the dragons.
Okay. Are you camping here tonight? Because you're either skimming it, right, or you're having a really good read, and that kind of determines how long you're going to spend here.
I was about to say, yeah, how long are we spending here?
Well,
That is a very valid question.
If Jace wants to try hunt like fishing, we could probably stay here if we get some food from the lake.
Yeah, and we really need to find out which direction to go, because if somebody took an egg from here and we got to find an egg, we got to find an egg. But if we're finding a dragon, we should probably continue on to Crossblood. And...
Does it look like there's more to the temple than just this room? Like, is there other stuff to poke around through?
There's not like journals for you to poke through, but there's definitely side rooms and storerooms and side buildings.
Yeah. While folk are looking through journals, Corey is probably going to start looking around to see if there's like storerooms for people who were supposed to tend this place, or like, because this doesn't seem like the kind of place that doesn't have caretakers. So where is everybody?
Right.
I would also be helping on the poking around front.
Okay. So Corey and Jace for the general poking around, Saki for reading more journals.
I'll probably join Saki in reading because we'll
great.
cover
We're
more
letting
ground that
Jace
way.
and Corey roam free. I'm so excited.
We're not going far, I promise.
No, we're looking in rooms. We're looking for food. Maybe some dead monks.
So excited.
I mean, maybe some dead monks. It's fine.
What's happening?
Just a little scared is all.
Beats an undead monk.
Just Scooby-Doo it around.
I feel like I'm sort of like skimming. I kind of know what words I'm gonna try to look for. So if like something catches my eye, I know to read a little further.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's about this extent that she could probably do.
I'll say Saki can roll in spirit because you're like half relying on catching certain words and wisdom. Juniper, if you're like actually reading, it's int, and if you're also skimming and hoping you'll catch the right word, it's also in spirit.
I think she's pretty fast reader, so I think she'll try to like dig deeper into it because she already kind of skimmed through things and didn't find anything, so she'll try like doing some deeper reading.
Okay. So int and in spirit.
That was a 4. That was a bad roll, but
solid 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all these words, man. You get so engrossed about this story about this guy that walked into a cactus and nearly died and then ended up doing, oddly enough, also goat yoga, but in Whitecap, and then having to deal with a surfing competition without waves. You just completely forget you're supposed to be looking for things, and you're just like, this is one of the best nonfiction books you've read in your life, right? The writing style is catchy. The adventures are ridiculous enough to be likely. The cast of characters is amazing. They're all insane. It's beautiful. And it ends with a dramatic save from a traveler saving a dragon, but drowning themselves, and their Ryujin stepping in to save both the person and the baby dragon. Like, you're nearly in tears at the end.
Like, I get why dragon eggs feed off of stories now.
Like, you're like, I have to get a library card or something.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fun. I gotta read more.
Juniper, what did you get?
I got a critical success.
Success. Somewhere off to your right side, Saki is doing that sort of that sniffling sound, but you don't want people to hear you cry. Somewhere towards the end of their book. But you're focused. You're on a mission and you're fact-finding. You find a journal of a local person. There should be a dragon egg here. There should be a summer dragon egg here. It was hatched. It was deposited here at the end of winter when it's supposed to be deposited here. So it has all of spring to take in all the stories and then hatch and bring in summer. It has been here for most of spring. The most recent journal that was left here is dated 5 weeks ago. And nothing since. In those journals, nothing about weird animals that are growing plants. But 5 weeks ago, everything here just stopped.
And does that timeline kind of match up with what we like when we know that Clover returned to the... Okay.
1 or 2 weeks, like a few days leadway. So maybe Clover wasn't the first, but just the first one you became aware of. But it certainly tracks with when summer should have turned over.
Okay.
You find a journal by one of the temple keepers that isn't there to be fed to the dragon to make it hatch, but just like the logs, right? Shipment received, shipment went out, running out of rations, blah, blah, blah. Egg looking fine, growing well, nice and warm. Ryujin stopped by this day, sang their stories to the dragon, right? It's glowing well. It's starting to grow its vines. And then 5 weeks ago, there is a chapter heading, there is a date, and there is no entry.
Huh. That's weird. I kind of probably take that over to Saki, politely pretending I don't notice her sniffling. Just be like, hey, something happened here. Like, there were people here, there were attendants, and there was an egg until like this date, around 5 weeks ago.
5 weeks ago, that was about the time that summer was supposed to start, right?
Yeah, so where did everyone go, and where did the egg go?
And there's just, when you say stopped, I mean there's just nothing written?
Like, there's no entry here.
Oh,
like they dated it, like they started the day, and then they just didn't finish it.
Something happened. I start kind of like looking around my surroundings a little bit, and I'm tempted to see if I see any signs of like struggle or something that I hadn't seen before in this room.
Okay. We'll get back to that after we stop by Jace and Corey, who are on a mission.
Great.
Bravely exploring the rest of this building. Are we fully splitting the party? Are we is Jace going right and Corey going left? Or are we still sticking slightly together?
So Corey suggests, all right, I'll look in that room and you can look in that room, and
Nope.
then we'll come
Nope. I'm not getting eaten by ghosts in this abandoned temple. Plus, if we go into the same room, we can clear that room faster, and it really is the same amount of time.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Also, you got the weapon, and all I got is rope.
I mean, that looks like it could definitely.
It's mostly just going
somebody.
to annoy people.
Oh.
I've had to use it to chase off stuff, but it just annoys them mostly.
I mean, they make those with like the metal like thing in the middle, and you're supposed to be able to, if you want to make it more.
Huh. He has never considered putting a weighted object inside of that, even once.
Murder tips from Jace.
Look, we're all learning here, okay?
Yeah.
Sad rope flail.
But hopefully there's some food though, because.
Oh, definitely, because we need food, and well, they're not using it because they're not here, and I hope that they won't mind that we borrowed it while they were gone.
Well, I feel like maybe they'd come back with new supplies and it'd be fine.
Well, yeah, you're right, because then if they come back and it's just stale, who wants stale food?
Exactly. We're helping keep this place from becoming rat infested is what we're doing.
Rats. We are stopping the rats.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like look back and forth like very suddenly, like now I've frightened myself about rats.
It's not the rats you have to be worried about, it's the gulp roaches. Anyway, you are heading any kind of storeroom. A lot of the food that was left behind has spoiled, especially the things that were left as tribute, because normally you leave like the freshest, unpreserved items. Again, 3 magical healing apples if you want to take from the altar. Provided you're willing to steal from a dragon, that's up to you.
Mm-mm.
No, apples remain. There is like a very clear, after you hit a few doors, you're like, oh, Oh, this would have been a dining room. That probably means that is a kitchen. You can head to the kitchen. Kitchen has pantries. And at the point where we're rummaging through cabinets, trying to identify edible things and things that you probably shouldn't eat, because, once you see like a speck of mold, it means the whole bread is moldy level of looking for things in the kitchen. I'd like, you can pick in spirit or in int. Look for things you can eat.
I guess in spirit.
And it's funny because, like, as you're going, every now and then Corey is like, because we're going through and he's just pulling out stuff. If it looks bad, he sets it aside. If it doesn't look bad, he sets it aside. And, like, he's sorting food, and, like, as we clear room, he's, like, pulling the bad stuff out into, like, the hall.
Mm-hmm.
He's, like, cleaning as we go. Just, this is bad.
We love
an
an organized party member.
That is a 9 for in spirit.
Very good.
Ooh, 8.
And
Yay!
8. Oh, both excellent. So, Jace, you're finding a number of fruits that are non-fuzzy. Probably been like ripening a little bit. Like they went from pre-ripe, hard as a rock, to currently edible. So let's say you find like 2 days worth of rations.
Okay.
And as you're holding this fruit, it smells nice, right? It's kind of sweet smelling. You turn to show this to Corey, and Corey looks up to see what you're holding while grabbing something from a shelf.
Mm.
And as Corey touches it, it sort of oozes around your hands to like slime onto you. As a slime mold comes out of this cabinet to say hello. And we'll pick it up for combat next time.
No! You just hear the girliest scream from Jace, though.
like Corey goes from that moment of realization of, ew, this is kind of gross. I shouldn't have touched that. I was just hoping it was going to be, a Jell-O or something that I could just pull out and put aside. But, that's moving towards me. And like,
it is moving towards you. It's not just stationary and bad. It is processing to engulf you. And we'll deal with that next time.
Oh, no.
Thanks to certain unnamed people who donated for an encounter.
Oh, no. Curse you.
Yes. I'm very excited. We will end it here for tonight, though, because it's nearly my bedtime, because I'm European and it's late. Also, I'm very old. So we'll quickly go around and let people tell us who they are, where we can find them, and other cool stuff they have to plug. My Zoom windows have reshuffled, so we'll be going in a random order. And we'll just start with Amanda.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda. I use she, her pronouns, and I have been Saki in this game. You can find me on most platforms at Panda Cabra or Panda X Cabra, one or the other. I'm around, come say hi. I'm also currently playing Roots on TRPG on Tuesdays, although we are taking a break this upcoming week, and we will be back next Tuesday to continue that. So yeah, come say hi.
Excellent. Wraith.
I'm Wraith, they, them pronouns. You can find me at Slendernoia, mostly on Twitter. You can also find me primarily over at Exquisite Corpse Presents. I am both cast and crew over there. We just restarted our Saturday night games, Sister Cities, after a pretty long hiatus. We are also currently in the middle of a Sunday morning game right before Ryuutama, which is very, very early for anyone Pacific time. But it's a great game. It's all Arthurian legends, and it's very, very gay. And then we are also currently planning out a massive Pride Month event. So signups are still open. We have the survey link live over on Exclusive Corpus Presents Twitter. So come join us. Be gay. We want to make it really, really fun and exciting the whole month.
Be gay, do crimes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, I am Kai, she, they pronouns. You can find me on the internet as Kaiola Creative. I am here. I am doing a playtest of a game called Splice, which seems pretty cool so far, over on Alakazam's channel on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, I am GMing over on Gut Punch RP, and every other Friday, I am playing over on Gut Punch RP. And I might maybe play a video game on my own Twitch again. Maybe not. We'll see.
We'll see indeed. Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Ko-fi at FordaFair, no dash in between. Other places with the dash, except for my Tumblr, which is LexArts, and with 2 X's, and my Insta, which is the same. I illustrate, I play games, and today I played Corey, the hapless farm boy with his wonderful giant chicken babysitter.
I mean, you say hapless, but there's always Jace.
There's always Jace.
Okay. Hi, my name is Anniek. You can find me here on Sundays on 10 a.m. Pacific, those time zones, running Ryuutama games. Actually, you can find me here most Sundays, but more on that later. I am first going to try and do the Sword and Key schedule, which is enormous because apparently these people have too much time on their hands and they run 1 million games. Okay, Sunday starting next week, 2:30 p.m. We have a Brindlewood Bay game. Speak about Be Gay, Do Crime. In this case, it's Be Gay, Solve Crimes. It's basically Jessica Fletcher, but with Cthulhu. So come see them in action. It's a really fun little indie game. Thursdays on 4 p.m. Pacific, we have Invisible Sun Fraying Threads. Also a really weird system, but like weird in a good way. Monday, May 8th, words, at 5 p.m. Pacific, we have a Sword and Tea, which is like a little chat show with people who make games. And this time they will have the designer of Stoneburner. You currently have a live Kickstarter, and it features Space Dwarfs. If that's your jam, come look at that. Saturday, June 17th. I never planned this far ahead. This is wild. 9 a.m. Pacific. Another Sword and Tea, this time with Haunted Table for their Kickstarter of a game called Triangle Agency, which was also pitched to me as, what was it again? Monster of the Week meets Paranoia. Also sounds deeply interesting. Horizon's Call, one of the longer running campaigns on the channel, returns Saturday, May 27th at 3 p.m. And I just mentioned Triangle Agency and things I do here on Sundays. Eventually, of course, as sad as it is, this Ryuutama game is going to be over. But we still want to play games. So there are casting calls coming this week for our next few 1, 2, 3, 4-shot miniature campaigns, timing TBD. Aforementioned Triangle Agency, a wonderful horror game called Public Access, which will be GM'd by Eva, that I get to play in, so I'm not the forever GM. And then a game I'm DMing with a casting call that is more content warning than casting call, so please think about things real well before you apply, because I'll be running Vast Grim, which is a body horror space game. If it just think real hard before you apply, but if you think people being possessed by parasitic worms in the cold dead space, that's me. Please apply. I cannot wait to play games with you. Those are coming up this week, barring Eva not hurting her back fixing posts for a pony who keeps escaping. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I think that is it for us today. We'll be back here next week, discovering more things about summer dragons that have gone missing. I swear this isn't a horror game, guys. It's just a mystery. No body horror here. It's just a happy little Ryuutama game. We're going to be raiding out to Classical Glaza, and we'll be back here next week. See you soon.